Do you have the ability to regulate your thoughts and emotions? Well, we're going to be talking about that. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about communication, parenting, relationships, and emotions. And in this video, we're going to be talking about how we can help you regulate yours. There are many people who feel like they are the victim of their own thoughts and emotions, and they wonder if there's anything they can do about it. In fact, they feel really trapped and helpless. In fact, so often people, because they don't have what it takes to control themselves, they just assume that everybody's like that and everyone has to just accept it. And that leads to feeling like everybody's broken and nobody can move forward. But truly, part of the human condition is we find a problem and we work on fixing it. We move ourselves forward. We have a journey. It's our life journey. So in this video, we're going to talk about things that you can do to help you better regulate your thoughts and your emotions as you go through your life journey, so you don't have to be trapped with some of those old thoughts and emotions that you have been ruminating on for just too long. I'm going to share with you 3 lessons that you need to keep in mind so that you can be in better control of you. Before we get to these 3 lessons, it's really important that I teach you an important term. The term is self-government. So as I teach about relationships and communication around the world, I always do it through the lens of self-government. So what is self-government? Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So what that means is that you actually make a plan for yourself and then you follow through. If things don't go right, you adjust your plan so that you can have greater success in the future. This is exactly what we're going to be doing with these 3 lessons that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So I am leading you toward a life of more self-government. Self-government is just another way to say self-regulation. Lesson number 1 is understand how your body works. We are all made up of feelings, thoughts, actions, emotions. We all do all these things. And guess what? Those are different components that interact with each other. They don't stand alone. So if you say, how do I fix my thoughts? And then how do I fix my emotions? I hope you recognize that actually regulating emotions is tied directly to regulating thoughts. So if we can understand how our thoughts and emotions and feelings and actions all work together within us, then we have a much greater chance of actually having success in our goal to regulate ourselves. Every one of us can experience feelings. We can experience a feeling of attachment and love. We can experience happiness. We can experience pain. We can experience stress or worry. We can experience fatigue. We can experience boredom. There are so many feelings that a person can have. Once a person experiences a feeling, that leads to a thought. Whether they know it or not, it's this split second in your mind where you think something about it. So maybe if somebody pinches you or something like that, you feel this feeling of pain, and maybe in your mind you immediately think, that was so mean. Okay, and if you think that was so mean in your mind, then your body is going to react to it. Your body is going to emote that particular thought that was stemmed from that feeling. So, what if we did something that humans are more capable of doing than any other animal? What if we changed our thought? What if we just countered our first instinct and decided to make a plan for ourselves? Because you can train yourself to have the wrong instinct. You can train yourself to have a non-productive habit or a non-productive response, just like you can train yourself to have a productive response. So what if when someone pinched me, instead I trained myself to think that was pain? what is that person trying to communicate to me? At that moment, I would be stepping back in my mind and evaluating a situation so that I could have more thoughts before I decided on what course of action I need to take. Now, sometimes does a person have to defend themselves? Yes, but most of the time you actually can handle your situation or your problem with a lot more productive skills. So this leads us to some of our actions. So after we make a productive thought, then we're going to hopefully have an emotion of understanding because we asked ourselves a question about that person. Wait, how can I understand them? And then that's going to lead to more action. Maybe we would use a skill, like a skill called disagreeing appropriately, which is a skill that I teach to parents and children all over the world so that they can better understand each other. This adjustment in our thoughts actually changes the whole course of our interaction with that person who chose to pinch us. Maybe we don't even know the person, and in the end we find out they can't talk. And so they were pinching us to try to get our attention. But now that they can get our attention, we can see that their communication is not able to reach us without doing some physical type of disruption. There's things that we can learn if we will teach ourselves that we get to choose our thoughts. So what are productive thoughts? Oftentimes we think things and we think that's true. I'm in pain and I feel that person is mean. And you may feel that person is mean. That might be a truth you're holding on to, but there might be other truths you're not considering, such as what if that person needs something? Or what if this person doesn't know how to communicate properly and they need a skill when things don't go their way? There's other thoughts that might be true, and we need to take the time to challenge our first thoughts to make sure that we are truly regulating ourselves in the direction that we want to go. So that's lesson number 1, understanding the difference between our feelings, our thoughts, our emotions, and our behavior. Before I get to the next 2 lessons, click that subscribe button. There are so many great videos on this channel, all dedicated to self-government, which is the same as self-regulation. You're not going to want to miss those, so click the button now. Lesson number 2, there is power in choice. Many people use excuses instead of choices. When something happens to them, they think, that person did something to me, instead of thinking, how do I want to process this? What choice can I make? There is power in choice. I learned this when I was in 9th grade. I remember walking down the hallway of my school one day, passing my vice principal, and I said to him, "Hi, Mr. Naylor, how are you?" And he said, "I'm happy, thank you." I thought that was interesting. So later I asked Mr. Naylor, "This morning when I asked you how you were doing, you said you were happy, thank you. Why did you do that? Why did you say that? Nobody says that." And he looked at me, this wise World War II veteran, and he said, "Nicholeen, why would I choose to be any other way?" Boom! That blew my mind. I said, surely you're not happy all the time though. Some days things go bad, right? And he said, yes. But when somebody asks me how I am, I have planned to say that I am happy, and that reminds me that I get to make that choice. Whoa. That wisdom has stuck with me my entire life. I will be so grateful for Mr. Lloyd Naylor, because he literally changed my paradigm and allowed me to have more control over me. Why would I choose any of my choices then? Why wouldn't I just decide what it was I wanted to tell myself, my own narrative, my own dialogue going on inside, so that I could make the choices I wanted? And as soon as I started making choices that I wanted, my parenting improved, my relationship improved with my husband. There was no more excuses. Just power in choices. If you are going to self-regulate yourself and you're going to change these thoughts, which ultimately ends up changing your emotional outcomes and even some of your actions, you've got to prepare by learning the words, the skills that you need. So right now you're already programmed. You're a robot. We all are. We are groomed and programmed based on how we are raised or the experiences that we've had, the books we've read, the things that we've decided to take on as ours. So we're robots. That means that when something happens, we always think the same thing. So we have to dissect those moments and say, now when this happens, I'm going to say something else. What is it? We have to give ourselves the words to say. Scripts are powerful. I teach parenting, and the biggest part of that is helping the parents be better at their own parenting so that they don't lose control. Even though the children are losing control, the parents are losing control too. So you know what I do? I give the family scripts, new words so that they can reprogram themselves. I give them skills that they can use. Skills like following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, disagreeing appropriately. These skills are powerful. They help the person have the words to say in the moment when a situation occurs. I teach parents the exact words that they need to not fall into out of control habits when they're doing corrections, but instead be able to have calmness and security going forward because they have new words. Are your words working for you? If not, you may need to write down a script. You may even have to read your script off of a card at first to make sure that you truly self-regulate. Self-regulation is a process, a deliberate process. It isn't an accident or something that just happens because we want to. It is something that happens because we took deliberate steps. We learned how we worked. We decided to make good choices. And we gave ourselves the skills and the words that we needed to accomplish what we were setting out to do. Every person has the power to self-regulate aspects of themselves, even if it's more difficult for some than others because of different processing difficulties or differences. We can all do this, and children as well as adults are perfectly capable. If you have enjoyed this video, I know that you are going to love my next video dedicated to a lot of these scripts and skills and understanding the environment to create where a person can better self-regulate. And it is called The Not So Known Secret for Parenting Success. Even if you are not a parent, the principles and skills that are talked about in that video will be life-changing for you. Click on that video now. I'll see you there.